And, by the way, if you've ever heard the meme about Sissy Hypno, that's not a meme. The Wachowskis have literally said that that's what happened to them. Welcome to Tairimo Boys podcast. I'm your host Cody. With me in second chair is the joyful, jolly, jaw-dropping, jarring, jovial jack-off, Jeremy.
That is a tongue twister if I ever had one, and I don't think I have that much joy in a single bone in my body.
With me in third chair is the radiant, real, reliable, regal, resistant, remarkably regal rapscallion, Ryan.
Hey,
I gotta process that one too.
Rewind it.
Much like this movie.
So you're probably wondering this intro. Well, today we're gonna be reviewing V for Vendetta. Most people are familiar with the introduction scene for V with all the V words. So V for Vendetta, 2006 movie. It's 2 hours and 13 minutes long. So here's the big question, boys: how many times have we seen this movie?
Twice. Surprisingly. Only twice.
also twice.
Really?
I'm so
Yeah.
disappointed in myself for real. Like, I was racking my brain rewatching this. I was like, I remember really loving this movie when it first came out. Why haven't I watched it again? And what did I love about it? Rewatch it. I'm like, I should have been watching this every year,
Yep, it's a 5th of November tradition for me.
as it is for me now.
So, for anyone familiar with V for Vendetta, it's one of Alan Moore's creations. We'll get into that. But essentially, what happens is it's alt history. But this time, we don't have Abraham Lincoln killing vampires.
Alt history, quote unquote. It
Quote
also kind of
unquote.
predicted the future.
Yep. So basically, it takes place in Britain, and an evil political party seized power through a virus that they unleashed and miraculously had the cure.
Big Pharma, victorious again. Where have we seen this?
Prepare for an extra political episode because this is a very political movie.
Yeah, it is. But unlike the political stuff in Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer, this I loved because this was also a prediction of what happened.
Totally. But it's
Almost
not,
the same year, too, for our St. Mary's virus.
yeah, that's the funny thing. Unlike Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, the political stuff in this movie ain't as dry. It's less statesmanship and more break into a TV station and murder all the bad guys in there. Here's the interesting thing about the movie. For anyone familiar, essentially what happens is it really stars two characters. You've got V, who's like, I guess you'd say an anarchist, and he's trying to bring down the British government. Then we got Evie. She gets brought up into this. She's just working at a TV station, and one night, whenever she goes out to be with like a friend of hers, she ends up getting ambushed by a bunch of secret police who try to snuggle her, and V ends up saving her and bringing her up into his whole revolution. So, boys, what do we think about V?
I love anarchy. I love chaos. And as Ryan would say, I love comeuppance. This is a movie of comeuppance. This movie had me gripped the entire time. Also, if Ryan starred in this, his name would be C for comeuppance.
Correct.
Now you got to rhyme a whole bunch of things with C.
That, to be fair, like C, I don't know, it's like 50 or 100 in Roman numerals, so it is possible. A major spoiler, V stands for 5.
Loved him. Really loved him when I first watched this movie when I was obnoxiously into politics. When I was one of those people that just so obnoxious about politics to the exclusion of everything else. I really love that guy. I've tamed down a little bit.
But do you love him a little less now?
About the same.
Fair.
Yeah, I love V as a character. I mean, the whole thing comes down to comeuppance. Because he's going after like all these corrupt and crooked people who have essentially snuggled the people.
Yep. Every one of them wronged him in some way.
You've got the journalist's mouthpiece. You've got the evil chancellor, head of the secret police, and the lady doctor who was behind the experiments. The important thing about V is, so let's get into Alan Moore. You could probably tell by like stuff that he's written, like Watchmen, that Alan Moore is kind of political, I'd say.
Cranky?
Cranky.
Curmudgeonly?
I mean,
See, you can do it. You can do it. C for comeuppance. Ryan's new superhero name.
I mean, he is cranky. If you're unaware, he wants like nothing to do with like any of his series, because League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. There was another one. It's like From Hell or something. Like he got wrapped up in a lawsuit with that and just said, "Get," and wanted nothing else to do. And the thing is,
I actually
too,
didn't know that.
yeah. But the thing is too is he hates Watchmen because he wrote Rorschach to be the bad guy, and everyone views him as the hero.
That's an interesting thing to think of Rorschach as a bad guy. I see him more as like a dark Batman, like a Batman that's willing to kill people. Like he believes in justice,
Like V?
like V,
Well,
just like V.
yeah, I think we argued this in our Watchmen review. I'd recommend people go watch our Watchmen review, but it's one of our old, really bad book report reviews, so
You've been warned.
don't expect high quality if you go back and watch it.
No, definitely not. It was still a good review, but definitely
It's
not.
our longest review, so be ready. But I think Alan Moore's like extremely like left wing and into like anarchy and stuff. Guys,
And wizardry.
that is also true too. I know there's like a story going around with him talking about being high on drugs that he saw, or maybe he's just having a dream about like some scorpion monster. Guy's a weirdo, I can tell you that. But there were a lot of political changes between the movie and the comic. Like the novel, well, graphic novel, there we go. It was more like kind of making, it was a commentary on like the Margaret Thatcher administration. And of course, the Wachowskis ended up writing the screenplay for this. That was back before they were the sisters.
I was about to say the Wachowski brother.
All right, you love the Family Guy quotes, so one of my favorites though is the brothers who made the Matrix movie are ladies now. Just one of them. That's the thing. It's both. And by the way, if you've ever heard the meme about Sissy Hypno, that's not a meme. The Wachowskis have literally said that that's what happened to them. But they just wrote the screenplay and they made it more ambiguous, but they were still making fun of like kind of like Bush. When was the last time Bush was relevant? But I mean, the big thing is it's not in your face about it.
It's not preachy.
It's not like some current movie where you'll go in and be like, "Oh, this person's clearly complaining about Trump." Like, no, this is like the original Star Wars trilogy had a lot of messages about Vietnam. Most people won't even catch it.
Are the Wachowskis gonna write a reboot of this movie where Trinity's under the V mask?
Then it'll be V for vagina.
Jeremy, you and your vaginas.
What can I say? Got needs.
Well, so folks at home, there are boobs in the movie, but we're gonna be respectful today. The boobs that we see are in like a mass grave, so
Yep, can't do that one.
yeah, if you don't want to do that. You know what
We
the-
already did dead boobs in our last review.
Exactly. I still haven't recovered.
But Jeremy, you know what else there was in the movie?
What's that?
Do you remember the scene where Gordon brought Evie down to his basement and there was like a bunch of gay porn on the wall?
Dude, no,
It's time for
Nope.
Rim Job Rave!
Nope, I'm out.
Jeremy, what'd you think about all those guys eating each other's ass?
Yep, I'm out. You know, I tuned that out in my brain. I seriously don't remember seeing it on the wall. See, I compartmentalize. I shove all the bad stuff really down deep.
Yeah, but anyways. Can you boys think of like a bad scene in this movie?
Nope.
No.
I seriously can't. Like, I love this entire movie.
It just flows so well together. It's clever, it's funny.
Like, there's times, like, you don't see V for a very long time, too, but there's, like, so much shit going on. It just keeps you on the edge of your seat.
The important thing is, this isn't really V's story, it's like Evie's story.
It really is. Speaking of which, what do we think of Evie?
I loved her character. She just starts off like just someone who's just completely connected to the system. And then throughout the movie, mostly due to V's little torture he did, we watch her just completely disconnect from the system and sympathize with V's cause. Or it could just be a case of Stockholm Syndrome.
I think there was a little bit of that, too. Actually, no, I know there was a little bit of that, but still, both ways. It's a little bit of both. Ryan, how'd you feel about Evie?
She was a very compelling character. I really enjoyed her. Really enjoyed the screen time that she got. I was a big fan of Natalie Portman when this movie came out.
I still am to this day. I always have been a big fan of Natalie Portman. So it's easy for me to love Evie.
Yeah.
But Cody, like you said, watching her like completely disconnect from the reality that she knew was probably the coolest thing.
Yeah, the big thing is like she's got the past where her like parents were activists, or wasn't it her brother who died to the like St. Mary's virus,
I think
and
so.
then the secret police ended up coming and grabbing her parents during the night, and she was taking like a re-education school, and V's really who gave her the push to disconnect herself again.
Oh, he definitely did. That's quite some torture.
So I mean, we're really gonna ask: is V a bad guy or a good guy?
He's labeled a terrorist by the bad guys. He's a good guy. It's kind of weird to call him an anarchist. Can an anarchist be a good thing? In this case, it is.
That's really what the question for the audience is kind of secretly asked. The whole movie is: can an anarchist be a good guy?
In this case, I would say yes.
Yeah.
100%. Like he toppled a corrupt government, like single-handedly with 6 blades and some really cool roses.
Well, he had some like superpowers too.
He did. That was that what was explained, that he was the one that they got the blood from for the St. Mary's virus and it kind of
Yes.
mutated him? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad I caught that.
Yeah. Does for some reason whenever they were making the virus, he reacted differently.
And it gave
Uh,
him superhuman strength
it,
and speed.
yeah. It wasn't so much like superhuman strength and speed. It was reflexes. That's kind of what I got.
I would say reflexes too, but he did some stuff that
No, it was it
took some
was
strength.
it was completely reflexes. Like the whole I kind of got the feeling like the whole slowing time thing was just him moving like really fast. Like remember the very first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie where we see Spider Sense for the first time when he's fighting that bully in the school.
Yep.
That's kind of what I felt like it was like.
It was awesome, whatever it was. And the whole story just works.
And the thing is, he is blind too,
Isn't that crazy?
so it's got to be reflexes too. He's doing all that crap with. Yeah,
Well,
being blind.
yeah, it has to be.
I've done this before, but if you go back to the scene where after Gordon gets like captured by the secret police and Evie's trying to sneak out, the one guy that captures her, if you look, you could see it's like V. He's wearing one of those ski masks, but you could see like his like eyes are closed and he's got just burn marks all around him. That's like the only time in the movie you actually get to somewhat see his face.
Yeah,
And
then that you don't see it, which is cool. I'm glad they did that. They kept the mystery.
yeah,
But it also gave Evie the Stockholm syndrome type feeling too.
well, maybe she was just into weirdos, Jeremy.
Aren't we all?
No,
I'm just into crazies. It really begs the question too: did Evie fall in love with the man or the idea?
I was going to ask this.
I was thinking it when she kissed his mask. I was like, does she love the idea or does she actually truly love the man? What do you guys think?
I'm really having to think on this one.
It's tough. Ryan, you got anything?
Jeremy, that's easy. Women aren't capable of love. Um, I think she was in love with the idea.
I'm kind of leaning more towards that, but I think she still had a thing for the man because she
Yeah.
even mentions at the very end about the man.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be
Here's
fair, I'm a giant cynic.
here's what I'm thinking. Whenever she's starting to fall for him, she tries removing his mask. He's like, "Oh no, no, no!" It's like this mask is me. Like you don't want to see what's under here. And then at the end, we get the fight. We get the fight scene where like all the SWAT guys unload their guns and like V, and then he ends up going and choking out the main secret police guy.
Comeuppance at its finest.
He even says like, "Oh, you can kill a man, but you can't kill an idea." And
Hmm.
of course, right after that scene, he goes back to Evie and he's removing all his like metal plate armor and he's full of bullet holes. So I think originally she was in love with the man, and then it kind of moved over to the idea.
I don't know. I kind of feel like it's the opposite. Like she was falling for the idea in the beginning. Because I'm still leaning on at the very end when she's talking about the man.
Well, the idea is still alive though.
True, but I think she just fell more for the man at the end. But the man isn't alive. Spoiler.
Jeremy, does Alan Moore go to these Comic Cons you normally go to?
No.
No, hold on, I meant Ryan.
I don't think he'd be caught dead at a Comic-Con.
Okay, because I was gonna say we should go and ask him.
And that guy cosplays as a wizard. Yeah, I'm not doing that. Even if he does show up.
I'd ask him. I'm not afraid of rejection.
They'd probably chew us out for talking about the damn movie.
I'm not afraid of getting chewed out either.
I just don't want him to ruin my fun.
Well, I mean, he said that he wants nothing to do with the movie. I bet he's never even. Well, I bet he's watched the movies, but I bet he says he's never watched them. But, anyways, moving on. So, here's a question for you boys. It's our normal question, but you're going to struggle with it. What was our favorite scene?
Oh, easily the final fight. Like he was just taking bullets left and right, and he went into ultimate reflexes mode. He went to ultra instinct. Took a lot of shots though. Wasn't quite there with ultra instinct. He was doing it before Goku though. And then the comeuppance with that scene when he choked out Creedy and snapped his neck. I got chills. I want to do that to so many people.
Calm down with the Minecrafting. That was the rule for this review. Ryan?
The rim job photographs. Probably the final fight as well.
Yeah, it was a
When
really,
Homeboy got executed.
yeah, it was a really good scene. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say something a little different. I love whenever he kills that lady doctor.
Ooh, that was gonna be
The
my strong
syringe.
second. Yep,
Yeah, because
that was my strong
Yeah,
second.
I was gonna be my second choice.
whenever we watched him kill like the last two guys, you got the propaganda journalist guy. It looks like he fed him like poison, and the guy's dead on the floor in his shower. And the priest, the pedophile priest, cut his tongue out. But
I thought he poisoned the priest.
yeah, he
Didn't they
no,
say it was the same poison?
uh,
Because he said stick out your tongue. I assumed he was putting a poison capsule or something in. Because I'm pretty sure the police were like, it's the same poison.
I think it might have been both. I thought that he cut his tongue off. But why do you need it if you got if you could just inject someone?
Yeah, it was also like a really heartfelt scene too. It touched my emotions,
The
even
other
though she was horrible.
yeah, the other scenes that they're kind of they get off as like violent and like these guys like top of the thing, and then whenever we get to the doctor, she's remorseful about it, and it's just like a really gentle scene. It's like, oh, I've already. It's like, are you gonna kill me? It's like, oh, you've been dead for 10 minutes. Points out
That
she's been
that gave me
injected.
chills.
And then you get like the famous quote of her going, "Is it too late to apologize?" And then V going, "It's never too late to apologize," or something along the lines. Anyways, if you really think about it, was Evie really necessary for the movie? Or here, let me ask this question: would V have succeeded without Evie?
Yes, but I would feel differently about the ending.
Uh, Maybe.
Because before he even went off to do his final comeuppance, he was already there with the train. He could have just hit the switch. But he's like, he had a change of heart, and he's like, it belongs to the people to decide. He could have just thrown the switch, gone, got his comeuppance.
Yeah, I personally think he would have found alternate ways to kill like the people he was using Evie with. I think the important thing is for both like Evie and like the police detectives was that V is a mortal man and eventually he's gonna die. But the idea lives on. Like even though the
Hmm.
man dies, the idea has to live on. So if he would have done it by himself, his idea may have eventually died out.
I could see it.
So, before we start passing the topic, it's time for some boys in action.
Oh, yeah.
So, Jeremy, if you were in this movie, where would you die?
Where would I die? Probably would have died in the train with the explosives. I would have somehow locked myself in there. Get my comeuppance. I'd still blow up the Parliament building. I'd get that far, but I'd get my cape stuck in the door.
Yeah, I was thinking something like that. Like the door's closed on me, I can't get out.
Definitely happened to me. That's where I die.
Ryan.
Made it near the end.
I would have tripped and fell on the syringe and accidentally pushed the plunger in.
Would you give yourself a rose?
Yep.
Fair enough.
What about you, Cody?
I think I would have gotten St. Mary virus injection, and I wouldn't have gotten superpowers. I just would have died and ended up in the mass grave. That was another boys in action.
So fun.
So, Jeremy, pass Top Gun to you.
All right. Favorite character? You cannot say V or Evie.
I liked Gordon. Gordon was like Evie's friend that he did like
Which one was Gordon?
he was the one that did he was the gay guy that he was the TV host, and
Oh, Dietrich. Where'd you get Gordon from?
his name's Gordon.
Gordon Dietrich.
Oh, well. Here we go.
Okay, it's both.
Now here's the thing: they changed him between the graphic novel and the movie. Apparently, in the novel, he was he was straight and having a relationship with Evie, and he ended up getting killed by like a Scottish gang or something.
That is wildly different.
I think he was like really pro government too. But
I could see that with being a TV host.
yeah, the point is he does like this comedy sketch between like V and the Chancellor. He's like, oh, don't worry, I'll just get a slap on the wrist, and then the secret police breaking in and grabbing him and eventually executing him.
More than just a slap on the wrist.
What about you,
Yeah,
Ryan?
he was.
Also Gordon, but only because I'm afraid of how it would look if I said Adam Sutler.
Color me curious.
Good bad guy.
Yeah.
Okay, the interesting thing too is like the movie builds him up to be like the ultimate bad guy, and then it ends up being like a final fight with Creedy because it shows you like, yeah, the real power's in the secret police.
Mm-hmm.
You can just snatch him and execute him whenever they want.
In the Force.
I really should have said Guy Fawkes.
For all 30 seconds he was in the movie.
Right. I would go with either Gordon or Finch, the detective. I like the detective a lot, and you see his character develop and how he slowly starts to distrust the government.
Who's Gordon?
Dietrich. Gordon Dietrich. Dietrich.
Ryan, pass the topic on to you.
Nah, I got nothing.
Jeremy, final thoughts?
This is a blockbuster of a movie. Like, I'm ashamed I've only watched it twice, seriously. It is now going to be a 5th of November tradition for me. I love this movie. And if you haven't seen it, go see it.
Ryan, final thoughts?
2 thumbs up, 5 giant kegs of gunpowder.
For fertilizer. As for me, I watch this every year, 5th of November. Become a religious thingy for me. Ritual, there we go. It's now that we're living in a post that virus a few years back world, you could really see that exact same stuff that we went through in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, we have a Second Amendment to prevent this scenario from happening. I can guarantee they would have definitely tried that. But even without the real life allegories, it's an absolutely amazing movie. I enjoyed it even before that virus of unknown origin.
The real life St. Mary's virus.
Yep. If you watch the movie, I'll probably radicalize you. But let's just say the rules today were no talk about Minecraft or the Unabomber. So there you go. All right. So with that being said, it's time to scale this puppy.
What do we got?
So Jeremy, today's scale, we got the Alan Moore doesn't want to be associated with his stuff scale.
Uh-oh.
So
I'm scared.
no, you shouldn't be, because on today's scale, it's from the Watchmen movie to the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. So Jeremy, where would you rank this movie?
Oh, that is so tough after rewatching this. If I had only watched this movie the first time, I would say a notch under The Watchmen, but I'm going to put it exactly equal. I love them equally.
Fair enough. Ryan?
5 notches above Watchmen.
I don't know about 5 notches, but personally, I'd put it like a tiny bit above Watchmen. I liked Watchmen.
I just pulled a number out of my ass.
You can't do that on the scale, Ryan.
I went rogue. Just like V. Changing things up.
It's an amazing movie. Definitely watch it. All right, everyone. Thank you for listening to another episode of Tairimo Boys podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment telling us if V was a good guy or a bad guy. And don't forget to ring that motherfucking bell. Stay tuned for more episodes. Stay tuned for a leftover from Tairimo Ween.